Psalm 119, the verse number 130. It says, the entrance of thy word, it giveth light, and it giveth understanding unto the simple. So he says that when the word of God comes into a person, it shines like light. And once we talk about light, it means that what is in the person is likely to be darkness. So it says that the word of God is light. And sometimes the things we go through, the things we are thinking, the things we have emotions about are like darkness that is within us. And when the light of God shines, it causes the darkness to go away. All right, let's not see any empty chair in front of you. Try and come. All right, please occupy every empty chair. Okay, I spoke English. All right, so the word of God is like light. Yeah, it's like light that shines. And when it shines in a dark place, one of the things it does is that it causes the darkness to flee and to go away. Today, I want to start a very short series for the next 3 weeks on what I call breaking the spirit of inferiority. Breaking the spirit of inferiority. Breaking the spirit of inferiority. Inferiority complex is something, it's a problem that has come into the world and is stronger now than ever before. It didn't used to be there. At first, if you are looking for somebody who feels inferior, then you have to look at somebody who is from a very poor background in a village where there's nothing good that you can ever see them. But now you see kids who are brought up in skyscrapers, living in townhouses where there are apartments. And maybe let's say, for example, they're on the 16th floor, or they're on the 21st floor, or maybe they're on like the 23rd floor. Their father is well-to-do, their mother is well-to-do. They have everything they need, yet the kids have grown up and they have developed a deep sense of inferiority. It's a dangerous thing. So I want to use the story of the prodigal son to bring out some of the things that has to do with inferiority. Then we'll begin to look at keys that can help us to break that spirit. Luke chapter 15, reading from the verse number 11. Luke 15, reading from the verse number 11. It says, a certain man had 2 sons. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. Not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. When he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself unto a citizen of that country, and he sent him into his field to feed swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husks that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hard servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise, I'll go to my father, I'll say to my father, Father, I've sinned against heaven and before thee, and I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. So he arose and came to his father, but when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him, had compassion on him, ran, fell on his neck, and kissed him. The son said to the father, Father, I've sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. The father said to the servant, bring forth the best robe, put it on him, put a ring on his hand, and put shoes on his feet. And bring hither the fatted calf. Let us kill it and eat and be merry. Or let us kill it and be merry. For this my son was lost, or was dead, but has been found. He was lost and now has been found. And they began to be merry. So here is a very popular story. You all know the story already, but you see the prodigal son, after he had gone to spend everything he had. When the Bible says that he gathered all together, what it means is that he turned the properties he had into liquid cash and traveled into a far country. There he wasted the money. There are some people who know how to blow money. Some girls know how to chop money. If there's a sister by you, ask the sister, are you one of those girls? They know how to blow money, chop money. They'll help you to finish the money. You know, eating kebab, buying things, moving around and chilling. But you see, the key thing I want you to see there is that when this guy finished spending all, the Bible says that there arose a mighty famine in that land. Sometimes the problems of life, they multiply. When you think that one has surfaced and you are looking for a breather, as in that you think that that one will pass for you to have a breather, then another one comes. Sometimes the problems of life, they compound. So here he had finished spending everything. Then there arose a mighty famine also in that land. He began to be in want. Then he began to think, should I go back to my father's house? Or what should I do? He decides to go and join himself unto a citizen of that country, and he sends him into his fields to feed swine. And the Bible says that as he was feeding the swine, he almost ate the food of the swine. Then he came to himself, and when he came to himself, he said, how many hard servants of my father's have bread enough and to spare? You know, sometimes the problems we face and the challenges we meet, it causes our minds to even work better. Doesn't mean that this prodigal son, he didn't know that there were hired servants in the father's house. He knew, but it never dawned on him. It never occurred to him that being a hired servant in his father's house is far better than being a fugitive or a refugee somewhere else. It never occurred unto him until he came to himself. In fact, someone has said that he came to himself actually means that he sold everything that he had until he has sold his boxer shorts as well. Then he came to himself. I don't know how some people read the Bible and interpret it. You know, so that's the way they understand it, but I don't think that is the case. But he began to think. And then when he began to think, he said, I will arise and go to my father, and I'll say to my father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee. I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of the hired servants. Suddenly, this guy who was a son, you know, I don't think that when he went into that far country, he was thinking evil about himself. But suddenly, he's thinking that he's not worthy to be a son to the father. So he says, look, I'll tell my dad that make me as one of the people who are working in the house that you pay. He had reduced himself in his mind. He started feeling he was not worthy enough. He started feeling inadequate. He started feeling that he doesn't measure up to the stature of being a son to his father any longer. He began to feel inferior. And inferiority complex, like I said to you in the introduction, is something that has become a part of our world today. And it's the reason why men are beating women. And it's the reason why, which is the reason also why women now cannot stay in a marriage for long. They easily jump out. And then by the time you see, they're also cheating and misbehaving all over the place. So inferiority complex is a problem. If you should be suffering it and you don't do anything about it, it will affect you. You will grow up and come to realize that you lived far below your potential. Everybody here has the potential of greatness in him. But if you joke and you allow inferiority complex to dominate your life, it will cause you to fall below potential. In golf, they say you are falling below par. It shouldn't be. So let's begin to look at what inferiority complex is. What does it mean to feel inferior? When we say somebody is feeling inferior, what does it mean? Number one, an inferior person is one who feels inadequate. An inferior person is one who feels inadequate when others are depending on him. So it's like suddenly I call you that come and do the preaching. So we are all depending on you. I am depending on you. Then suddenly you begin to feel inadequate. You begin to feel inadequate. You begin to feel you don't have what it takes to deliver. That is what inferiority complex is. That's the first thing it means. Number two, what does it mean to feel inferior? To feel less than all the others around you. So here it's in comparison to another. To feel less than all the others around you. To feel less than all the others around you. So when the prodigal son or the youngest son said, I am no more worthy to be called thy son, he was comparing himself to his senior brother. So when you begin to feel less of a human being, you begin to feel less of somebody in your life, listen, you are suffering from what they call inferiority complex. Now, don't pretend it's not real. It's a real thing. So imagine, for example, I remember those days when we were in senior high school, not even senior high school, JHS. And then we'll go to school, and then there was this particular group of guys. You know, when they come to school, they have this new they'll wear, footwear, sneakers that they'll wear, and they'll be changing them all the time. And I used to ask one of them, where do you get these things from? Then he'll tell you that, oh, they went to bring it in Togo. Then sometimes he'll tell you that somebody brought it to them from America. And all that. Then at a point, whenever you are with them, you begin to feel inferior because you're always buying it at Katamanto. But they are always bringing theirs from Lome, or they are getting it maybe from America. And suddenly it can begin to get to you. You begin to feel that you don't measure up to these guys. Eventually what happened was that I became a friend to them. I became a friend to these two guys. Okay, then I don't want to mention their names because on social media. So I became friends, with them. Then they introduced me to some guys in the area. And all because I was seeing that they looked a bit ahead of me. Because when I'm talking about buying my shoe at Cantamanto, they are talking about bringing down their shoe from New York, Alabama, and Wisconsin. And mine is from Cantamanto. Yeah, it doesn't change. Bend Down Boutique. It doesn't change. So I became their friend. We'll move in the area and be following and all that. What made me cut myself off? One day, there was a shout in the area. And somebody said that his daughter had been raped. So they came. And when they were coming, we were all wondering where the noise is going to end. And the noise ended in the house of my friends. And then when they went there, they pointed out a guy. One of the guys I've been admiring. They pointed him out. And they took him to the police station and they locked him. Now, what happened was that they were having sex. There were a group of guys, maybe about 5 guys or something. They were having sex with the people there, with the lady. And so he was the last one that came and said he's never had sex before. He wants to try it. So they said, okay, he should come and try it. Then he came to try it. Now, when the girl, was bleeding and was suffering and the father asked, who did this to her? She didn't call all the other guys. She mentioned this, my friend. And then they came for him and put him at the police station. Inferiority complex can make you associate with wrong people. It can make you, become friends with people who are just a little better than you. And even sometimes you are even better than them, but you are not even aware. So I didn't know that all these things they've been talking about and the shoes and all that, it wasn't even for them. Somebody was going somewhere and brings them, they are his shoes. Then sometimes they will go and borrow the shoe and wear and bring to school. But I had no idea at all. But inferiority complex is a real problem that is there. Let's look at some of the signs of inferiority complex. What are some of the signs of feeling inferior? Number 1 is unworthiness. Feeling unworthy. Feeling unworthy. Feeling unworthy. There can be a feeling of unworthiness within you, especially concerning the good things of life. So here, the Bible says in verse 18, is it verse 18 or verse 19? Verse 19, it says, I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hard servants. He felt unworthy. So let's say, for example, you are standing there and then suddenly I say, well, we are looking for somebody to go and welcome the president tomorrow morning. He's coming from maybe Dubai. And you are the one we have chosen that go and say welcome and maybe recite a poem before the president. Once you begin to feel unworthy, it means you are suffering from what they call inferiority complex. Someone who is not suffering from inferiority complex will take it as a challenge and be like, well, if it has come to me, preparation must meet opportunity. So I'll go and prepare and try and go and deliver tomorrow. So anytime you get to the place where you feel unworthy, you feel that I don't deserve this, you feel that I don't deserve a certain kind of treatment, you are suffering from a deep sense of inferiority complex. It's a dangerous thing. So that feeling of unworthiness, okay, we describe it as inferiority. So like the guy said, I'm no more worthy to be called as. Meanwhile, he hasn't met the Father. The Father has not come to vent on him and be like, you wasted my living, you wasted my money, you wasted everything that I have, and because you wasted everything that I have, you are no longer worthy to be called my son. But he himself put that thing on himself and said, look, I am no longer worthy to be called a son to my Father. Number two, how do you know? When you feel you don't measure up. When you feel you don't measure up. You can suddenly feel you don't measure up. So let's say, for example, again, the guy says, make me as one of the hired servants. What he was feeling was that he had disappointed his father so much that he doesn't measure up to the level of being a son again. So the feeling that you don't measure up is a feeling of inferiority. So it's like you feel that you don't measure up. If some people must go, it is not people like you. If somebody must sit at that front, it's not somebody like you. If somebody must be the one close, it must not be somebody like you. If somebody must have that opportunity, it must not be somebody like you. If somebody must have that one, it must not be somebody like you. It's a dangerous thought. It's a very dangerous way of thinking. And that one talks about capacity, where you feel incapable. You just feel that you are incapable. You lack the capacity, to belong to a certain group or a certain class of people. So, as for inferiority complex, when you know, it's important that you know the signs, because when you know the signs and it's cropping or it's trying to rear its ugly head in your heart and in your mind, then you know that there's an evil spirit that is coming. Say amen. Number three, when you feel intimidated. When you feel intimidated by others. When you feel intimidated by others. You can easily feel intimidated by other people. You can easily feel intimidated by other people. And there are people like that. They easily feel intimidated by other people who are doing well. So imagine we are talking about the Burj Khalifa. The Burj Khalifa is the tallest building here in the world, and it's in Dubai. And then they are talking about it. I heard about it, and someone said that sometimes the weather downstairs changes from the weather that is upstairs, because the thing is so tall into the sky. So imagine we are talking about it, and you're also talking about it. You read about it somewhere. And you are saying that, the Burj Khalifa, the weather down is very different from that one. Then they ask you, how many minutes is the time difference? Then you go like 30 minutes. Then another person comes and you say, the Burj Khalifa, I've been there before. I've been in the building. In fact, I got to the top of the building. And it's not 30 minutes like you are saying. It's actually 7 minutes. You see, because the person says he has been there, suddenly you keep quiet. You may have read yours on Google, and you are also sure that you've read it. But you see, once the person has spoken because he has been there, suddenly you have to keep quiet. What has happened is that the person has intimidated you. So anytime you feel intimidated by other people, one of the things you need to notice is that you are suffering from what they call inferiority. And it's a dangerous thing. I remember one time we went somewhere, and then I got there. I was expecting to sit at the back. Then these bishops, senior bishops, they were in clerical and all their cassocks and all that. Then they carried me from the back and came to, this was like 2011. So imagine I was way younger. So they carried me and came to put me among them. I felt like an ant, sitting in the midst of elephants. And I remember that when they were introducing all the bishops and they were coming to me, I remember I was telling the person who had taken me there, as I was standing on the pulpit and introducing, I was just doing my hand like this. I beg, he should skip me. I beg, he should skip me. What was happening? Intimidation. You can easily feel intimidated. And when other people intimidate you, maybe their success, maybe something they have that you don't have. When they are talking, you can suddenly feel intimidated because you haven't been there. One day I brought somebody to my house and we were talking. And I had somebody already in the house who was there. So we're talking. We're all flowing. But this person was not really flowing with my wife and I. Then this friend of ours, this friend of my wife's who had come to visit us was in the house. We were chatting. So we even took attention off from the person to this, my wife's friend. Then suddenly the person, my wife's friend, mentions that, she lives in Dubai. Then this friend who was not chatting with us, who was not flowing with us, as soon as he heard that this friend of my wife's is from Dubai and she has also been to Dubai, then she began to chat with that friend and ignored the two of us completely. So they're just chatting about Dubai, talking about Dubai, the different places of Dubai. Which place do I know in Dubai? So they'll mention the bus stops and the train stops and the different kinds of things. But you see, I mean, we follow cry. So my wife and I were just chatting among ourselves, and we ignored the two of them fully. But you see, after we left, we noticed something about that person. There are people who intentionally do things to intimidate you. There will be people in your life who intentionally do things to intimidate you, to make you feel inferior. So it leads us to the next question. What is the cause? What causes people to suffer from inferiority complex? Number one is the memory of the weight of their past mistakes. The memory of the weight of their past mistakes. So, nobody is without mistakes. Remember that one. Nobody is without mistakes. Why was this man feeling the way he was feeling? He felt that, look, his mistakes are too big. His mistakes are too strong. I've married all kinds of people, though. I've married prostitutes and different kinds of, you know. If somebody doesn't tell you that this is the situation, you will never even know. But people, you can marry the baddest of the baddest to the baddest of the baddest, and they are flowing, and you give them encouragement to be strong and move on with their lives. So there is nobody who is without mistakes. If God is going to be judging all of us and play our thoughts this week from Monday to today, all the ideas that pass through our heads on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, you'll be surprised the kind of things Lady Pastor Gifty was thinking this week. And you'll be very surprised at the kind of thoughts Elsie was thinking this week. And the kinds of ideas that pass through the hand of Bubune this week. You'll be amazed. And as for Francis, I'm sure he will jump and cover the screen so that we will not see the screen, because of all the thoughts and feelings and things that pass through his head. But sometimes, you see, because of our mistakes, we can be filled with the memory of the weight of the mistakes and failure. And it causes us to feel inferior to other people. But the question I'm asking you again is that who is without mistakes? Who is there? Everybody. So they can find people, who are very wild. Like, let's say, for example, you've gone to steal bread. Then you meet somebody who steals money from the farmer, a lot of money, and goes to town and blows it and does whatever. And then on top of that, he is doing well in the class as well. You'll be shocked that the person is so bad, but the person is still doing well. I'm not saying be bad. All I'm just trying to say is that don't let your past mistakes control you. Don't let it make you feel less than other people. You got pregnant out of wedlock and you had a child. So what? So what? You broke a virginity 20 years ago. So what? How old are you anyway? So what? So what? Let it go. This guy, he had blown the father's money with harlots. Verse 17 says, in verse 17, he would fain have filled his belly. This verse 17 or verse 16. That verse 17 was when he came to himself. So verse 16, he would fain have filled his belly with the heart that the swine did eat. Feeling so down. So the weight, the memory of the weight of your past mistakes, it can be there so strong. You were dating somebody, the person broke your heart. So what? Move on. Let it go. And sometimes the person who broke your heart may end up being your tenant, your neighbor, next door neighbor in the same house. What will you do? When he's in his room, he's playing loud music, then you're also in your room, he's disturbing you, or she's disturbing you. What will you do? Learn to move on. Number 2, difficult time. Another thing that causes people to feel inferior is when they are going through a difficult time or they've entered into a difficult season. So when people enter into a difficult season, they begin to feel inferior. They begin to look down on themselves. But I was saying yesterday we traveled. I was coming back. I was listening to a message by Miles Monroe, and he was saying that, well, people ask him whether he has problems, and he says he doesn't have problems. And he tells them that the things people call problems is always an opportunity to grow. So I don't know what it is. Maybe things have become hard. Things have become difficult. But you see, it should never let you feel inferior. I remember those days when I was maybe from class 6. From class 6, almost every year, in fact from class 3, almost every year, I go for a competition on behalf of the school. So I remember particularly when I was in class 6 and we were going for this quiz. My school uniform had issues. Those days you saw the school uniform would tear, you patch some up and do something to it, and all that. But it's me, I was going. So I went for the interzonal, I won. Went to interdistrict, I won. Went to the next one after that, I think it was circuit. I went to the highest. Then I got to the regional. I got to the region itself, where all the circuits or districts came together. And that one was when I was second. When I was second, I had to go for an award. I didn't know how bad our situation was until the teacher who led us, to the spelling bee said, my dressing is not good enough to go and collect the award. In fact, I wasn't even conscious of it. I didn't know at all. So then I asked the teacher, as little as I was, I asked the teacher, Miss Shine, and my teacher was called Miss Segbeji, and this was Miss Shine from the other school. So it was a twin school. So I asked the two of them that, why are they saying that I don't qualify or my dressing is not good enough to go and collect the award? Then Miss Shine said, your shoe is one. Then when I looked at the shoe, of course it's true, the shoe, was torn. And very easy, but as a little boy, I was like, if I wore this shoe to go for the competition, why shouldn't I just wear it and go and collect the award as well? So then she said I should turn. So I think I turned. Then she pointed something on my shirt and said, because of it, I shouldn't go for the award. And I said, no, I'll go and talk to my mother. I'm sure my mother will come up with something. So tomorrow morning, let's see what will happen. So I left. So when I left, I go home, I told my mom said, forget about those people. So she took the shoe. When she took the shoe, she called a shoemaker and then worked on it. Then she called the tailor as well. The tailor also came to work on the shirt. So I went back the following day. Now when I got back the following day, apparently the matter had gone to our headmistress, Mrs. Demanya. And when Mrs. Demanya heard it, she was so furious. And she was like, look, if the guy's shoe was torn and he went and sat in the competition, went from the interzone, I think it was an area, then from the area to interzonal, from interzonal to interdistrict, then to the level of representing the district, and he was going through all these levels. Why? Allow him to go for the award. So I came to school. Then Mrs. Demanya calls me in front of the two teachers. And she says, look, I was just telling them, I was angry with them for coming to tell me that because of your shoe and because of something on your shirt, you shouldn't go for the award that the regional minister or something is coming to give. And I rebuked Miss Shine and Miss Segbeji that they should allow you to go. Come, my boy, let me see. And when I got closer, they have patched the shoe beautifully. And she said, but is it this shoe that I said, oh no. Then Miss Segbeji, Miss Shine said, no, this was not the shoe. It was worse. It was torn. But the mother has gone to work on it, for him. He said, but for me, it didn't mean anything. It didn't mean anything as a little boy. But sometimes we allow the difficult times we go through to trouble our minds. Somebody is using an iPhone and you are using your phone, it doesn't even have a name. Yeah. Then it troubles you. It worries you. Yeah, it happens. So difficult times causes people to begin to feel so down and feel like nothing. Those days I'll be in the university, we'll go to school, I'll enjoy CCF, and when we come home, I'll come to Soul to Home Church. Oh, the pastor was purely tree. He sings all tree songs and preaches in tree as well. Mira Wapabo! And the drum in the church? The drum in the church was bongo. It wasn't even with like jazz or something like that. No, there was nothing like that. And everything was manpower. No organ. I remember this is the way the man claps all the time. And will clap and follow him. I never for once felt that I deserve to be in a better church. I never for once felt that I deserve to be in another church where there is an air condition or something like that. It was bad, but I couldn't see that it was bad. It was a difficult situation, but I didn't see that it was a difficult situation. So when you go through a difficult time, a time when there is no money at home, a time when maybe things are very tough and things are so down, things are very bad and things are not okay, don't allow that thing to make you feel less than other people. No. So a difficult season, many people usually, they are not able to manage it. A very difficult time. When the things you want, you don't have them. When the things you desire, you don't have them. You can feel so terrible. I'm very difficult to intimidate. You can't use anything to make me feel bad or feel jealous. Never. There's nothing. Name it, anything you can mention. There's nothing you can do. But you see, it's a state of mind you need to get yourself to. So if you have to eat, listen, someone said recently that, and I saw, he said, it looks as if the doctors, they never notice anything wrong until you begin to prosper. Then they will tell you, stop eating meat, stop eating this one, stop eating that one, stop eating that one. And you see, so if, let's say, for example, you are here and when they cook soup, you are expecting chicken, you are expecting turkey, you are expecting whatever, and you are eating, and it's only herrings that is inside. You don't have to feel bad about it. Sometimes I'm like Friday, I will serve food with plenty meat, plenty fish. I took 2 out of the plenty. And there are times when they serve me at home till today. I think even last week I did it. There are times when they serve me food in the house. I don't touch the meat or touch the chicken or touch the fish or touch anything. I just eat the soup and then I'm done. I was in Dr. Peter's house. They fed me with turkey. When I came back, I didn't feel that now I've developed new appetite for turkey. From where? I don't miss it. I don't even know how it tastes like. If you ask me today, I don't even know how it tastes like. But you see, some of us, when we are going through a difficult time, we allow it to get to us. We allow it to change us. We allow it. And you see, the opposite of, sometimes you see some people, they are proud and they are hard. And it's all a defense mechanism of the broken person that is inside. It's a defense mechanism for the broken person that is inside. So when people go through a difficult time, they either become so broken and feel so inferior that they become timid. The other side of it is that others, because they try to fight it naturally, begin to become overconfident and become proud. Don't allow any difficult situation to change you. In Luke 15:14, it says, and when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. He began to be in want. So a difficult season of your life should never make you feel inferior. Make you look down upon yourself. No. Everything is for a season. So I don't know what difficult situation you are in now. Enjoy what you have. I told you before that I didn't know that yam, boiled yam and red oil, it was not a staple. As in, like, it's not food that people eat ordinarily. I didn't know. Because sometimes when things get hard at home, they will cook this yam, they call pona. Maybe somebody came to give it to us. Then my mother would pour oil, red oil, put it on fire, and then add the anda, to it. And we eat it normal. For me, I felt it was normal food. So one day we went to school and they were mention your favorite food. And I lifted up my hand and I said, yam and red oil. And everybody started to laugh in the class. The situation was so bad that I didn't even still know that what I was mentioning was some way. So when I closed, then a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine inside, took him to tell me that, Charlie, the food you mentioned today, we know the chop will be wild food. But I didn't know. When I told my mom that, she said I've disgraced her. But you see, for me, I had accepted it. I had accepted it to be a part of me. Growing up, we'll wake up Sunday morning and there's no food. We don't eat at home. Sometimes I think, I don't know what it is. Maybe because there's no food or something like that. And we'll go to church. And we become used to it. I became so used to it. Till today, I don't eat at home in the mornings. Till I'm done. Sometimes I'm done 1 p.m., 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. Before maybe I'll take some tea or something like that. It's my part. But you see, a difficult season of your life, don't let it change you. Don't let it change you. Sometimes you are going through a difficult time and maybe somebody has to lend a helping hand to you. Don't let it worry you. It's a season. It's just a season. It will pass. There is no man-made person. There is no self-made man in this world. Everybody has been held by somebody. But sometimes we can get to the place where we feel so terrible. We feel so bad. We feel some way. And sometimes you can fall into the hands, because I'll come to the next point. The next point is that you will meet people who will also make you feel inferior. There are some people, when they fetch water for you, the whole world will know that they have fetched water for you. That's the next point. That's the next point. So look at that next point. Okay. I don't know, but I'm sure they'll put it right for you in the notes. I've written the notes. Okay. I just prepared it and I came into the service, so it's fresh in my mind. Okay. What did they say about what does the point say? People, when you meet a demeaning person, there are people like that you will meet in life who will make you feel demeaned. Well, one of the reasons why I decided not to, not like I decided not to, but it broke begging from me, was when one day I was sitting with somebody and the pastor came. And the pastor came and said, oh, the pastor was going. Then they said, oh, what do they have? Then the pastor said, oh, their corn is finished. Then the person said, oh, Charlie, call the person and said, bring the 2 olonkas of corn and let's give to this man of God. And they brought the 2 olonkas of corn and gave it to the man of God, and the man of God left. Oh, later, then the person was chatting and said, the last corn we had in the house, the pastor, these pastors, he has come and take it. Oh, what a shock. What a shock. And I was there when the person came. If the person didn't ask, the person was just getting up to go. Then the person rather asked that, oh, is everything okay? Do you have everything at home? Then the person said, oh, it's only corn that is finished. Then they organized 2 olonkas of corn to give to the person. You see, what it did was that for me, I was not in that situation. I was not the one in that situation. But if you are the one in that situation, assuming that I was the one and I hear it, I will feel something. You will feel it. And sometimes God can bring people like that into your life who will make you feel demeaned. They will go all out to help you. And then after they've gone all out to help you, they will go all out to tell everybody, to let everybody know that this is it. And when you hear it, it can kill you. It can do something inside you. Are you in the church? Oh, yeah. And sometimes you can meet people like that who demean. And they make you feel less of a person, of a human being. So let's say, I'm just asking Kukwa, what do you think about what I just said? Then Kukwa gets up to talk. Then Kukwa says, sit down there. What about Elsie? Elsie also tries to say, sit down there. Bubina also tries to say, hey, sit down there. Then Beto was here. I said, Beto has just spoken some sense. You see, all of a sudden, all the rest of you will feel sankwas. The rest of you will feel so demeaned and nothing. You will feel like you are nothing. Oh, yeah. I had a teacher like that, Miss Kofi, in JHS. And I was brightest in my class then. Okay, in class 6. All right, going for quiz, going for whatever. Then we came into JHS 1. She doesn't know me from Adam. The woman, and then I was made, I don't know even how. I think somebody came to the class and just said, oh, I should be acting as the class prefect or something. Hey, this woman, she was on my case. So they're using words. In fact, I don't even remember the words. But a couple of them I remember is you are good for nothing, you are whatever. She will use all those words in front of the whole class. Sometimes, it was 2 classes. When they opened the partition, we are like 94. And she'll be standing in front and be throwing these words at me. And sometimes she'll come to the class, the whole class is noisy, and I've written names. When she goes to the names and she doesn't see some particular people's name in the list, then she will throw all the anger on me. And she will say, for 44 people, I'm giving you 44 lashes for everybody in the class. Then she'll start lashing me, beating me. You see, but that is somebody who demeans. She came into my life to demean me, to make me feel inferior. And so when people go wrong, I tell people all the time, they will never forget the words you speak to them. So be careful when people go wrong, because they will never forget the words you speak to them. So no matter how angry, no matter how broken you are by the behavior of somebody, when you are going to speak, when you are going to handle it, be careful in the choice of words. If you are not careful in the choice of words, that's it. That's it. I like something someone said. He said, people don't remember too much about you, but they always remember how you made them feel. So in your speech, in your talking, in addressing people, in handling people, be careful not to make anybody feel less of a human being. Make anybody feel less than another. Don't talk and say you don't compare to this person. You are not at the level of this person. You and this person are not co-equals in any way. Because when you begin to talk like that, it begins to make the person feel that I am nothing. I am nothing. Compared to this person, I am nothing. So how do you expect the person to feel when the person is in the presence of the other person? People feel that they are nothing. So if everybody's talking, and I'm like, only Bethuel has spoken some sense. You see, anytime the 3 of them, Bubune, Elsie, and Kukwa, are in a place and Bethuel comes, suddenly, if you are looking for somebody to go and do something, they will say, oh, Bethuel should be the one going to do it. Meanwhile, maybe Bethuel doesn't have the ability. But because of the way of speaking, because of the way of talking, it's not common to have people. It's not common to have people. To have people around you, to have people in your life, it's not a common thing to have. People who are genuine and clean in heart. It's not common. And if you don't know how to handle people, you don't know how to talk to people in a certain way, you will have nobody. You will have nobody. It's not pampering, but it's about how to handle human beings. So you can easily feel demeaned. Look at this guy. I'm sure he told the citizen of that country that he is a Jew. I'm sure he told him that he is a Jew. And the man knows that Jews don't eat pork. They don't have any dealings with swine. Then the man sends him into the fields to feed swine. Wanted to make the boy feel so demeaned and feel like he is nothing and she's nothing. So you can meet people like that. Some of you met some. Maybe they are your auntie. Maybe it's your auntie. Maybe it's an uncle. Maybe it's a brother. Maybe it's a teacher. What I would say is that when you meet such people, listen, don't be bitter with them. Because the thing also about it is that when God uses somebody to help you and the person talks as well, they have become like a test in your life. And there's some people who don't mind that their investment in you should cause you to even go bad and turn into something else. But promise yourself that you will never dishonor anybody in your life. So that if they are expecting you to go down, you will never go down. Get yourself to that place. And you see, when you meet such people, what it does is that it breaks our trust. We don't trust people any longer. It takes something away from you. I don't know why you're all quiet and looking at me. I don't understand the message I'm preaching at all. Yeah. Where you understand the message? Yes. There are people like that. They demean. They will make you feel so terrible, so useless, so like nothing. And it's a dangerous thing. And so for me, growing up, when I enter a space and somebody is shouting and screaming and saying negative things about another person, I run away. I will never be in that environment. I will never be there. That's why I don't quarrel. You can ask my wife. I've never opened my mouth to use even insinuate. Even to insinuate that maybe, to insinuate something. Not even once. This year that she has known me. Or Sally. I've used the word on Sally that Sally will insinuate, like I'm insinuating that something. Have you ever? Nothing like that. Why? Because I met this woman in JHS1. And I was with her in JHS1, JHS2, JHS3. Yes. And in from JHS1 to JHS3, I was always the best in a subject. In fact, when we wrote the BEC, nobody had one in the social studies. I was the only one who had one in the social studies. To tell her that, look, me, I will not be angry with you. By the third, JHS3, I become a best friend. So which human being is there in your life now that is making you feel so terrible? Making you feel like nothing? Dr. Peter comes to Ghana, and when he goes, like I went, he felt like he wants to reciprocate maybe anything that we did for him. But he wasn't even open to it. I wasn't even open to it. Then he told himself that it's not something he can easily do. Because I will tell you, oh, this person, do this one for him. Make sure they don't do this. Make sure they don't need that. Make sure they don't do that. Make sure they don't do that. And time again. All the time. And then there was a time that I was Rita, then it was Lizzie, now it was Bubune and Pastor Will. And with specific instructions. Not to honor the person well. Then for last year, when they went back, they told the church that they have traveled and been in several countries. But the country where they feel very honored and respected is when they come to Ghana. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. And how did I get there? Because I didn't get bitter with the person who demeaned me, who tried to kill my spirit, to break something inside me. Learn to forgive. Sometimes that's their weakness. That's their weakness. Let it be. Are you with me? Yeah, it is their weakness. It's part of it. It's a package. So how do you break the spirit of inferiority? Let me close in 5 minutes. How do you break the spirit of inferiority? Number 1, decide to rise. Decide to rise. Take the decision. I am going to rise. I'm going to rise above the inferiority. Take a decision. I'm going to rise and do well. So, and the thing about these things is that you can easily begin to live your life trying to prove a point. Are you with me? Yeah. So it's like this person was demeaning you. You say, I will rise and make it to show her. So what if she dies on the way? What if she dies after 2 years? Or what if he dies after 2 years? You will see that you will become like a deflated balloon. And suddenly you have no reason to live. You have no reason at all to live. Look, it's not that simple for somebody you revere, for somebody you hold in high esteem, to talk down on you. It's not an easy thing. Because me, for example, look at the way I'm just talking, but it's having an effect on you. So imagine I'm speaking a negative word to you. You won't forget it. You won't forget. There are messages I've preached you've not forgotten. Is it true or is it not true? Yes. So if I tell you something negative as well, you will never forget it. And there's some people, they are anointed with negative words. Anointed. But you see, as this woman was doing this one, Charlie should be on my case, insulting me, saying all these ones. Another for me, I made myself stagger. I'm not moving. As I say, I'm going to make it. We are going to do well. So have that decision. Take that decision in mind. Take that decision in mind. Now look, I'm going to help. I'm going to rise. So there's a boy I look after, he's in senior high school. The father had left him, so looking after him and all that. So this week he was writing YC, and then he fell sick, and they carried him to the hospital. When they carried him to the hospital, he gave the phone to a friend to call me, to tell me, So when the friend told me, that the boy is sick, and all that. I said, well, what's wrong with him? He says, but I wanted to be sure because boy is there. They can wagadri. So as I want to talk to the nurse in the school there, I want to talk to the nurse in the clinic to be sure of whatever it is. So I spoke to the nurse and I said, no problem. How much was it? Then they mentioned that amount. I said, I'll pay. So I paid. You see, but my mind went back to a number of things. I remembered a number of things in my background. And I felt that, look, if I disappoint this guy today, I would have killed something inside him. Something terrible. He will grow up with a certain mentality. It will be very difficult for him to forget. Yes. So, in Temara, I did whatever meanderings I needed to meander to just be able to help to do it. All I'm saying is that some of you are going through what you are going through so that God will use you to help other people. Decide they are going to rise. Decide they are going to rise. To be in Banana Inn, in a compound house where our landlady will wake up at 5 a.m. And she wakes up and then she'll be shouting, Gawugah, move out of my house. And let all those things that are following, we are those things. And let all those things that are following you also leave my house for me. And I will feed my room with kenke. And she will insult, 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 she will insult. I've forgotten all the insults over time. I've forgotten all the insults. But that day, I took a decision. And the decision is that I don't want to stay in any compound house. Never. I vowed. I took that decision that from this thing, I will never stay in the compound house all my life. So that's it. So as soon as I received my first salary, the first thought that came into my mind is, Charlie, look for a land. Look for a land. Because I did an analysis. The analysis is that I'm not paying light bill, I'm not paying water bill, I'm not paying rent. Okay, so what next? So I paid my tithe. In fact, my first salary, I paid first fruit. After the first fruit, the second one, I paid my tithe of 100 Ghana cedis. My salary was 400 Ghana cedis. And I paid a tithe of 100 Ghana cedis. I mean, I don't think I've ever paid tithe exactly the same before. Never. I've always paid more. So I paid the tithe of 100 Ghana, then the 300 Ghana. I remember I used 100. No, I had 300 Ghana. Then one person in the church, I asked that I'm looking for land. She says, why? I said, anywhere. Because those days there were bushes still around. So I said, I'm looking for land somewhere in the area. Then she said, okay, Pastor, I don't know any land, but I want to add 100 cedis to your money. So she added 100 cedis to the money. And when she added it to it, I said, no problem. Then it didn't take long. Then somebody came and said they have found some land or something like that. So I went to look at the land. Then gradually, by the time I realized, the decision I had taken was coming to pass. But close to my wedding time, I think we're going to have our wedding in January. And we had not fixed, the window was done, but we had not done the louvers and put a door. So I said, okay, the money we are going to use to do all this is a lot. So I told my wife, then my girlfriend, then I said, look, why don't you rather go and rent with the money? Then she said, oh no, let's rather try. Then my girlfriend, then I said, look, why don't you rather go and rent with the money? Then she said, oh no, let's rather try and squeeze and do it. It's better to stay inside without light or whatever. So I said, okay. So I remember somebody gave me 500 Ghana cedis that they were sewing into my marriage. So I took that 500 Ghana to the various rooms. But at least the main door was there. And we are safe. So I said, okay, it's enough. Then we moved inside. So take a decision. Take a decision that I'm going to rise. I'm going to do well. Where have you been demeaned? Where have you been looked down on? What have you been looked down? What have you been looked down on? One of the girls, I don't know if she's watching today, but I mean, they have told them that her story. I'll be telling it all the time. The father was wild and hey, you won't amount to anything. You won't do anything. You won't amount to anything. You won't rise. You won't make it. You won't rise. You won't make it. You won't rise. Good for nothing, daughter. Then one day we went for a camp. One went for this camp. I think I said they should write the notes of the teaching for me or something like that. When she wrote the notes and I saw the note, the handwriting, correct English. Because some of you, if I come and check your notes right now, you see I is missing or S is missing or something is missing. Correct English. So when I saw it, then I asked there, I said, but this good handwriting and this good interpretation of what I was saying in the camp, what level of education do you have? He says, SHS. Have you completed? He said, I've completed. Which school did you go to? He said, I went to O'Reilly. O'Reilly Senior High School here. He says, yes. So I want to see your results. So she brought the results. I saw. When I saw the results, I said, well, hey, my father says, I think she said the father even doesn't believe that the results was correct. I said, no, you have to rise. You will do something. Take a decision. Agree with me. She said, I agree with you. Would you trust me? I said, I trust you. I trust. I said, okay. So I sat down with her and I said, look, if you apply to Legon, you won't get any good course. If you apply to Tech, you won't get any. By your aggregate, you get a school. Any of the universities will pick you, but you won't get any good course. And when you finish, you have to come and scramble and look for a job. So my simple advice to you is that go to a nursing school. And when you go to this nursing school, make sure that you don't need anything, but you go to the nursing school. When you come out, by the grace of God, you'll be on your own. Okay. Then we applied. When she applied little by little. Then I think after the first year or something, they have to come and do clinicals. So she came home. Then the father saw her in the nurse's uniform. She's not the favorite. She's now the favorite of the father. Oh yeah, until she was done with the school and all that. And she's been taking care of the family and all that. Doing things now amazingly in the home. I said that to tell you that her decision to just agree with somebody that, look, I need to rise and do well. That is it. That is it. Yeah. I don't even know whether I rented for her. I don't know what I did for her. I'm being forgotten. Yeah. But that is it. She's on her own now. So all I'm saying to you is that, you see, to rise and break out of inferiority, it starts with you. You have to take a decision. You have to tell yourself, I deserve better than this life. I deserve better than this life. I deserve better than where I am now. I deserve better than this thing. I can rise. I can do well. Yeah. That is why I like to help people. One day somebody came to ask me, the pastor, where is your car? And I said, the $300 or whatever dollars I gave you the last time, if I wanted to save it to buy a car, you wouldn't have it. You wouldn't have it. Yeah, you wouldn't have it. Yeah. So if you are going through demeaning circumstances and situations that will make somebody look down on you, take a decision. I will arise. You may even be a wife, and your husband is treating you as if you are nothing. Take a decision that you will rise. When you rise and you make it, the same man will look at you and will be surprised and will begin to respect you. So I think and chew on those ones. I'm sorry I've taken more than your time, but think and chew on these ones for today. Is that a good point? Yeah. Think and chew on it. And I think at some point also I told myself that I will help my mother. I told myself I'll help my mother. I will not allow my mother, to struggle. Because sometimes I used to hear my dad complaining about hospital bills and all that. So I told her, from today, anytime you have a hospital bill, Mama, forward it to me. It shall be sorted. So started taking care of it. And I remember the 3 days to her death, or 2 days to her death, I went to her in the house because she had said the week before that she has dashed me to God because I don't visit her. So I went that particular day. And I went to lay by her on the bed. And as she was laying down, she said, hey, this life is so amazing. You are my last, but you are the one that has helped me. I mentioned a few things, to do this. Think. Just tell yourself, I need to rise. I need to rise. Who has demeaned you? Who has looked down on you? Who has made you feel so terrible and feel that you are nothing? Or even made you feel that you are a beggar? Don't be angry with anybody, but rather use it to take a decision and tell yourself, I will never put myself in that situation again. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And once you take that decision, suddenly you will begin to do well. So somebody, you are walking and then somebody gave you a lift and passed the comment. Tell yourself that this is the last time I will ever hear such a comment. I will never allow such a comment to come to me again. I will force. I will try. I will rise. I will make it. So as I conclude this afternoon, just tell yourself that I will do well. I will do well. I promise yourself that one, that you will do well. You will rise. You will make it. You will get to the next level. Promise yourself. In Jesus' name. Are you there? Yeah? I proposed to a girl I wanted to marry her. Then she said to me that, I don't see anything in your future. Oh, what do you mean I don't see anything in my future? I said, oh. So anyway, give me some time to pray about the whole thing, and then later you'll come and then we shall talk. Then I told her, okay, unfortunately, I told myself that if I propose to you and you don't accept, then that's the end of it. Hey. Then after about 1 year or 2 years or something like that, I had become a CCF, whatever, in the school. Hey, then the girl came back and said, at the time when we're talking, I didn't really know what it is you wanted to do. But, now my mind has changed. And the Lord has spoken and said that you are the man for me. Yeah. I hope you give this that the devil is a liar. Decide to rise. Don't let anybody make you feel less of a human being. Stand to your feet and let's pray. Or if you are clapping, clap well. Lift up your two hands. Lift up your two hands. Breaking the spirit of inferiority. It all starts with rising. But look at me. I tell you, don't tell yourself you will make it for this person to see that you have made it. It's a wrong motivation for success. Yeah. It's a very wrong motivation for success. Because the day the person is not there, you'll be deflated. You will not have any motivation to rise. Lift up your two hands and pray and tell God to help you.